Okay, so what happens when the Prime Minister of a country calls for revenge? On the face of it, he seems to be calling for revenge by the army. It seems as if he is saying that army will take fitting, steps to give a fitting reply, etc., etc. But let us see what happens when the party cadres hear this. This is what happens. Army veterans, police among the residents attacked in Jammu city. In Gujar Nagar, residents say hooligans stoned homes and hotels and set fire to vehicles while senior police officials looked on. Is that familiar? It should be familiar because this is what happened at Godhra. Jammu city. Muhammad Aslam Khan, 81, is a wheelchair-bound former military man living in Gujar Nagar in Jammu city. He served for 5 years in the military and for 20 years in the police. He says he could never have imagined what happened to his home. We used to hear about this kind of thing in Gujarat or other areas. He said that police stood with rioters to get Muslims killed, but we never believed it. Police could not do it. It is only when we saw it with our own eyes that we realized what was happening. On February 15, in a supposed reaction to the attack on a CRPF convoy at Pulwama, young men rioted in his neighborhood, pelted stones at his house, set his neighbors' vehicles on fire, and damaged his son's newly bought auto rickshaw. The police stood idly by. SHO, SSP, DSP, everyone was there, Aslam Khan told The Wire. The rioters threw stones and broke our windows. The police force threw shells and tear gas. If the military hadn't arrived, I don't know what they would have done at night. Is this familiar, my friends? Does this remind you of Godhra? I don't think it's an accident that Modi is calling for revenge. He is not just going along with the public sentiment. He is stoking the public sentiment. He is creating an environment where people will take revenge while the police stands by, where scores will be settled while the police stands by. Here is another story. Again from The Wire, of course. Fear grips Kashmiri students in Dehradun amidst Bajrang Dal offensive. So, what is the kind of narrative here? We have lost 3 sons from Uttarakhand in the attacks. Kashmiris must leave Dehradun. We are warning them and those who give them shelter. Vikas Verma, convener of Bajrang Dal in Dehradun, said. And these are the signboards that are being put up, the posters. Dogs are allowed but Kashmiri not allowed. Hundreds of students from Kashmir studying in Dehradun have shut themselves into their rooms or whatever accommodation they have been able to find. After a day of protests in the valley town led by Bajrang Dal, the students fear for their lives, as The Wire was told over the phone. Between 1,500 and 2,000 Kashmiri students studying in various colleges and institutes in Dehradun. Several students have been assaulted, while others have been forced out of their rented rooms. Many have also left Dehradun to return home to Kashmir. Not everyone can leave. The tickets are very expensive. The route will not be safe either for Kashmiris, a student told The Wire. Mobs have been threatening violence with slogans like Hindustan ke gaddaron ko goli maro. The mob is on every corner, on every street with weapons in their hand. We are afraid to move out and go anywhere. We don't know what to do, another student told The Wire. And what is Vikas Verma, convener of Bajrang Dal in Dehradun, saying? Vikas Verma, convener of Bajrang Dal in Dehradun, confirmed that students from Kashmir have been subjected to violence. Yes, they are our targets, he said. Why? Why does he say this? What is his justification? He says, they have been celebrating the Pulwama attacks. Is someone going to verify this? They have been celebrating the Pulwama attacks. They have been chanting pro-Pakistan slogans. We feed them. We keep them in our homes. And this is how they pay us back. We will teach them a lesson. Okay. So what has happened is, from one guy, one suicide bomber who attacked the convoy with his vehicle full of improvised explosives, every Kashmiri student, every Kashmiri, where does it go from here? Every Kashmiri is now guilty. They are supposed to have celebrated. Think about it logically. Is this plausible? Do you really think that Kashmiri students, when they heard about this, would have celebrated sitting in Dehradun? There's one more story, and this one comes from Mumbai. Let us take a look at this. This is Mumbai Mirror. The CST Titwala train Lakshman Singh was driving on Saturday had left Kalwa when miscreants threw chili powder on him. Motorman drives on 18 kilometers despite chili powder in his eyes. Singh did not stop because the train ferrying 2,000 people had hit 95 kilometers per hour. He drove on till a replacement was arranged at Kalyan station. Now, what is this? It tells a story of rioters throwing chili powder in the eyes of a motorman. And these rioters, by the way, were supposedly protesting the Pulwama incident. Now, what I am trying to ask you here is this. Should a prime minister of a country use this occasion to call for revenge? Is it not irresponsible of the prime minister of a country to call for vengeance? Because when he says words like we will seek vengeance and so on and so forth, more violence will happen. He is issuing a dog whistle. He is blowing a dog whistle, and when he blows this dog whistle, the only thing that we are expecting is more and more cadres will hear that dog whistle and they will respond in the only way that they are trained to do. They are radicalized Hindus, and they will respond as radicalized Hindus will. They take it as an opportunity to unleash violence against our countrymen. Is this how India should go forward? Is this the government you want to vote for? Is this the person, is this the prime minister you want to vote for? And I am saying this knowing that there will be people who say, oh, you're playing politics. I'll tell you why. Because he is playing politics too. He is using this occasion to seek votes. He is turning this into a campaign opportunity. He is turning this public anger, this public outrage, this grieving into an opportunity for seeking votes. Okay? So here is again what I am saying. The public needs to be conscious that it is not just what meets the eye. This is the same man who was chief minister at the time of Godhra. The Godhra riots happened under him. Let us be clear about who's speaking and what he wants and how he does these things. He mobilizes public emotions. He mobilizes public opinion. And what he does is he uses it to unleash hatred against, it's not just Pakistanis, it will be against Kashmiris, step 1. It will be against Muslims, step 2. It will be against moderates and liberals, step 3. It will be against anybody who opposes the narrative of Bharatiya Janata Party. Anybody at all who wants to hold them accountable and opposes the narrative that they are putting out, which is a narrative of a very simplistic world where someone hits you, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. It's not a progressive narrative. It is a regressive, medieval narrative. And the only thing they will get out of this is lots of violence, radicalization, polarization of the people, division of people along communal lines, and they get votes. Please don't support this kind of thing.